What's going on? I'm here with UFC featherweight Garrett Armfield. He is fighting Jose Johnson on Saturday, the 25th, at the UFC Apex. So for you, you're a very active fighter. This is going to be your sixth fight in the last 2 years. How are you able to maintain this pace, and what kind of benefit do you think it gives you?
Honestly, I don't think I'm like the most active, to be completely honest with you. Like I always like shoot to have like four. Like my goal has always been to like five times in a year. Like the most I've done, I think, is three. Um, but it does like kind of wear on your body a lot, but just like recovery and then taking time off in between fights, like just not even like a lot of people go to the gyms the next day. And like for me personally, I think it's good to take at least like a week, 2 weeks off from training, just like let your body recover. It's good for your mind, it's good for your body. And then also like take like a month off between training as well. And so you can easily fit in 3 fights a year if you're taking like the necessary time off. Like obviously we always want to be training and getting better. But at the same time, you can experience burnout really easily if you're just constantly hitting it hard every single day. You do need those little breaks in between. But yeah, just I guess like to be able to do that, just be consistent, but also get through rest that you need.
Yeah, I mean, 5 times, that's a pretty lofty aspiration. I know, I mean, as a fan, I would love to see in there 5 times a year, but that's not like you said, with all the rest and everything, that's not the easiest to do. But your last fight
Yeah.
I was at that fight actually in the Apex. It was your UFC debut. I mean, I enjoyed the fight. That's when I became a fan right there. But it was your first fight. So what was kind of the process like fighting in the UFC for the first time compared to all those other regional promotions you were coming out of?
Oh, I mean, like obviously you're in the UFC, so it's like just the entire experience is different. How I explain it to people is like I feel like I was like in a creative fighter mode. Like when like you go through like the regional promotions and then you put on like the UFC gloves and like sitting down in the back looking at my gloves, I'm like, oh, this feels like a video game. Like I'm actually here. But yeah, the entire process was awesome. Obviously the huge difference between regional and then the national like UFC level. Just everything's run very smoothly and like everything's done for you, which is like
Yeah.
so awesome. As soon as you get off the scale, they have your entire hydration system going, and it's like they have literally written down instructions how to do it, and it's not so much just like kind of guessing. They kind of have it down to science for you, and it's nice, having like you know the limo driver pick you up and like take you from the airport, and then it makes you feel, it makes you feel like I don't know, it makes you feel like a celebrity. We're not celebrities yet. Obviously that's the goal, is to become a celebrity by, gaining a huge following and be an exciting fighter. But they make you feel special while you're out there. And so I really do appreciate that.
So you talk about the hydration after the cut being completely different in the UFC. Are you a guy that cuts a lot of weight, or are you usually right around 145 and you walk around?
So I actually fight at 135. That was just my one fight at 145. So I mean, I do cut a little bit of weight, but it's not the most I've seen. Like I'm still cutting weight, but it's not detrimental to my health, like I've seen for a lot of people.
Yeah, so you're fighting guy Jose Johnson. It is his UFC debut. I mean, he fought on a contender, but it's his octagon debut in this fight. How do you think that experience advantage, you being a guy who has gone through it, how do you think that plays into your advantage?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's only my second fight. Like, I'm sure I'll have goosebumps and be nervous, but at the end of the day, when you're in there, it's a fight. And he's fought in a contender series before. So I've never really I haven't thought into that, him being his debut. I have an advantage. I don't really believe in that. I just think, I'm going to go out there and fight my fight no matter what. And he's not going to be ready for what I have to bring.
Yeah. So if I'm imagining I'm following your social media, you're a fan of the sport. You've been seeing the Islam Makhachev IV controversy. I know you said your weight cut isn't too crazy, but what do you make of that whole situation? Do you think there was some foul play? Do you think a guy with that much of a weight cut should be cutting weight? What's your take on the situation?
I mean, everybody cuts weight for the most part. I just like obviously I think ONE FC, their kind of system is like pretty decent system, but then also like Bloody Elbow came out with an article, I think literally like a couple hours ago, like something about the doctors helping certain names. And I don't know. It just seemed like there might have been foul play there. But I mean, if you can figure out a way to let the fighters use IVs without letting them mask drugs, because I feel like that's a main reason why they banned IVs, was because fighters, like, they could take PEDs and then get it out of their system right away using the IV. If they could find a way to like monitor that, but let the fighters use IVs, I'm 100% for it. Because why do you want, like, you don't take Tom Brady the night before the Super Bowl and dehydrate him, expect him to go perform at his best game day. So obviously fighting's a little bit different with weight cutting, but shoot, let us be hydrated, let us, be 100%.
Yeah, no, it's funny you mentioned. I actually was just reading that the article on the ONE FC weight cutting, and it was crazy because their whole system was like, "Oh my God, these guys really have it figured out." But like, do they have it figured out, or are they?
I don't know. I just saw the headline. I didn't get to read it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely interested to see what comes out of that. But you, training partner of yours, Gilbert Burns, he's got a big one coming up against Masvidal. Fight I'm super excited for. How do you see that one playing out?
Oh, Gilbert's going to destroy him, like, Gilbert's one of the most motivated people in the gym when you see him. He's constantly, honestly, always goes hard, grinds hard. You never see him out, like, partying. I don't know his personal life like that, but like, he seems like a very dedicated fighter, to the sport and to his family. It's how he provides for his family. To be completely honest, I feel like Jorge Masvidal had his like shot at, fame. He had his couple fights where he had a great streak. But I don't think he's ready for Gilbert to come out there. And I think Gilbert's going to go out there and run through him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that's a good fight for Gilbert. I think he's sitting at around a -400 favorite. So,
is he really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the consensus is that he'll walk through him.
Yeah, the odds makers like him too, but I'm still super excited for the fight. So going back to you, one of the things, like I said, when I saw you at the Apex, by just, guy making his debut, my initial impression of you, I was just staring at that tattoo on your chest. It's a very unique look. It's like a triangle with like a line running through it. What is that?
Oh yeah, it's when I got off Google when I was like 19 years old. It means like transcend, which means rise above other people's expectations. So I always try to like, do more than what's expected of you. So that's why I got the tattoo. To be completely honest with you, I don't know if it means anything. It just kind of looks cool. So keeping it.
Yeah, I mean, you come out with some pretty sweet merchandise on your website. So, I mean, I think if you started putting out T-shirts with it like right there where it is on your chest, I think I'd buy one of those. I'm a big fan of your merchandise shop.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've actually had a couple people recommend me doing that. I just haven't done it yet. But
yeah. So
what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying that I work with millions.co. I don't know if you like use them, but they usually help us with the design. So maybe I should reach out to them and see if they could help me with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think get a big win on Saturday and then start promoting that. I think that would.
Yeah. I should. That's a good plan.
Yeah. So, but you mentioned that, despite trying to stay active, you kind of take off some time between camps, said, a couple weeks, a month off. What do you do when you're not in the gym? What do you do when you're taking this time off?
Shoot. Oh man. Well, I mean, like I still work. I have a side job still. It's still, like wait table. So like I'll do that. But like, honestly, I like to go out in nature, relax, hang out with my girl. I don't really do too much. I don't really go too crazy, but I know after this fight, I'm actually taking a trip to Mexico for about a week. So that would be like a nice change up because I've never been out of the country, never been to Mexico. So that's really exciting. It's something I'm looking forward to. But I don't know, I mean, I still go to the gym. Like I just we'll just like watch and hang out with the guys. I just like to be there, but not much out of like eat, train, sleep, and work if I have to.
Yeah, I mean, congrats on the Mexico trip. That sounds like a great time. That's got to be peak vibes, right? You win in the UFC and then
exactly.
Mexico.
Get the performance bonus and then go to Mexico.
Yeah, well, nothing beats that. But you mentioned, so you wait tables. What's it like when you tell customers, yeah, I'm a UFC fighter? Does that usually get a reaction?
Yeah. Before I just had to like before I was in UFC, people would ask like, "Oh yeah, I'm an MMA fighter," and then like you kind of have to explain that, and they're like, "Oh, well, what does that mean?" Blah blah blah. Yeah, it's good. It's actually a good way for me to like get my name out there. I have this app called Link, and it's like a little wristband you can wear, but the wristband doesn't really work super well. And it's pretty much like one of those NFC chips where you touch it to their phone and it pulls up like a business profile. And so I actually have it on my Apple Wallet. So when people like ask me about it, they're like, "Oh, so like yeah," because I have Powerful here. They're like, "Oh, so like you fight, you wrestle?" And I'm like, "Oh, I actually fight for the UFC." And they're like, "No way!" And I'll be like, "Yeah." He's like, "Go ahead and actually if you guys don't mind supporting me, like you guys can like follow me on keep up with my career." So then I just like open up my Apple Wallet and they scan it and then all my stuff's right there. So it's I know I get like a lot of surprised people and I get a lot of people that a lot of them don't know what that means sometimes. Like they don't know what you like being in the UFC is. Like they don't follow fighting very much. But
Yeah.
it's always good conversation started too with the table.
Yeah, I mean that's really smart. You're doing that a great way to pick up fans. Time wise, how do you fit it into your schedule?
I just like only serve like 2 or 3 days a week. And then close towards the fight, like a month out, I don't work at all. So it's usually just like Friday nights, and then Sunday brunch, and then like maybe like one night during the week. So it's really not too much, you know.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a smart way to go about it. So my last question, gotta ask, like I said, fighting Jose Johnson, February 25th from Vegas. It is your second fight in the UFC. What is your prediction? How is this one going to go down?
My prediction is for me to win, no matter what round, no matter what way. Of course, might have my game plan, but at the same time, man, I know I'm gonna get the win. I feel it. But never been more prepared, never been more sharp mentally, physically. This is gonna be a great fight, and I know I'm gonna come out on top. I don't like to give like straight up like, "Oh, I'm gonna knock him out in the first round predictions and all those things." Um, I just come to fight, and how it plays out is how it plays out. But I can tell you that I'm going to be the winner at the end of the fight.
That is awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this and good luck on Saturday.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much, Noah.
Thanks, man.